outpost. Cool people too, honestly.
Yeah.
And that 8, 7.
Oh, we're coming up.
Down to
Here we go.
minus on my mark. 30 minutes.
Here we go.
Before the opening of the window for Starship Flight Test 6 out here in South Texas. Now that's my cue, because I need to hop off of comms here and run up to the roof and make sure that the robotic tracking camera and all the other equipment up there is all online. So Gene, can I leave it with you and Adrian and Alex here?
We got it. I've got a question for Alex while you head up there and bring us some amazing footage.
I'll check in with y'all in a minute.
So when we just passed T30 minutes, right? And can you quickly give us a quick rundown of what's going to happen when we really get to that excitement guaranteed moment? Because I know they can hold it at a certain point. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so at T-minus 40 seconds, they could hold if they see that they need more time, if the automated checks on the vehicle, for example, also think that they need to hold there. At T-minus 25 seconds, the detonation suppression system activates. That is sort of like a mist of gases, nitrogen with water, to displace some of the methane underneath of the engines. Then at T-minus 10 seconds, that's when the deluge system activates, that flame deflector activates. And at T-minus 3 seconds, the engines will start up. That startup sequence is in 3 different sets. First, the 13 center engines on the booster will ignite. Then 15 out of the 20 outer engines will ignite, and then the remaining 5. That process takes about 2.8 seconds, and then at T0, that excitement guarantee, that will be our launch command. The rocket will decide whether it is ready for our launch, whether it's ready or not. If it is ready, it'll command the Raptors to throttle up. And then at T0, that excitement guarantee, that'll be our launch command. The rocket will decide whether it is ready for our launch, whether it's ready or not. If it is ready, it'll command the Raptors to throttle up and lift off. That lift off will happen about 2 seconds later. It takes a while for the vehicle is ginormous, right? And so it'll take a bit to pick up speed and start to lift off. But that's more or less, those final 40 seconds of the count are very, very active. So lots of action very quickly. If they do, excuse me, if they do not hold at that point, which so far it's looking like, pad, vehicle, weather, everything, it's looking good for launch at 4 p.m. If they do not hold there, it's going to be very quick. So we'll have to keep our eyes peeled for that, because again, it's going to be, detonation suppression system, deluge system, all of these things quickly in action. And, when you least expect it, you're already in the air.
Yeah. And this is a special flight because the previous flights were done at night, right? So we didn't get that daytime landing that we're going to get in the Indian Ocean like we anticipate this time, right, Adrian?
Absolutely, and I think I have another person to throw here too, because there's a certain plane that might get some new shots then, because this rocket is launching at a different time.
If we have hello everyone, me again. If we have a quick look down here, we can see the WB-57 has arrived on scene. It's currently flying over Starbase. Expect it to come out this way a little bit. It'll then start doing some racetrack patterns around here. So you can see, started off in Houston about an hour ago, made its way all the way down to South Texas. I'm just going to run through everything else whilst we have the chance. Oh, looks like I'm back. I'm just going to run through everything else whilst I have the chance. We can have a look at the clouds here. They're still dispersing out this way, which is good to see. It's very clear over Texas, very clear over the Gulf. You can see just refreshed even, and it looks like we're still getting a little bit of cloud down here towards the right side of the trajectory, so to speak, but it's pretty clear from where everyone will be watching today. And I also just want to remind everyone of the sun difference that we're going to see at re-entry, because that is the reason why we're launching at this time today. See Starship Flight 5, this is the re-entry NOTAM, and how the Terminator line moves. So we're going from moving into sunset to moving into sunrise. So we're not going to get any views over Africa, unfortunately, like we have gotten on the previous test flights. However, we will get some wonderful re-entry views as we start to come in over Madagascar, Mauritius, and then moving into Australian airspace in the sunrise. So fingers crossed, if even with those 8 rows of tiles removed on each side of Ship 31, fingers crossed it makes it all the way through to a daylight splashdown in the Indian Ocean.
Thank you, Ryan. That's amazing to see you with the maps and having fun. It's like tracking all the aircraft and the clouds and everything. And when I look out the window here over Starbase from the Margaritaville Beach Resort on South Padre Island, it is absolutely crystal clear. It is a beautiful day for a rocket launch, right, Adrian?
Absolutely. I mean, we always dream of these good conditions, not only for our photographers, but also, of course, for us, because we want to see the best thing that we possibly can. And so far, knocking on wood here, the conditions are quite good. There was some worry initially about, well, this could result in high temperatures and with that some heat haze. But that seems to be not the case so far. Humidity is actually quite down, if I recall correctly, which is good, because that also results in better visibility. So yeah, we are looking good here in the most sense of that saying. And let's hope these conditions stay that way. And of course, let's hope Starship completes the final steps here in the next 25 minutes. Because if it completes all of these steps, then we might get a launch at these wonderful conditions. And Alex, I will just throw to you here, what are these next steps that we are looking in the next 25 minutes?
Yeah, the very next thing, which should be in about 5 minutes from now, that'll be the engine chill starting. Those 33 Raptor engines on the booster and the 6 engines on the ship will be conditioned, just like we've seen with a tank farm. We've seen it with a launch tower and the launch mount. All of those ventings, we're gonna see very similar. We already are seeing some of that on the ship. There's already some of that venting going on. It does not fully indicate, though, that engine chill is underway. That venting is normal even when there's no engine chill underway. Sort of, we see a very similar behavior, for example, on Falcon 9 with the MVAC engine. But overall, that's the next thing that we should be seeing here in the next few minutes. But again, just waiting to see all of that propellant being loaded. Still 20 more minutes on the propellant load.
So this is not exactly like Flight 5. This flight profile is a little bit different because they want to test and push the limits of what's going on. They took the tiles off some of the sides, but they also have a couple things. Now, I want to ask, I'm going to go around the horn here, Adrian and Alex. They're doing an in-flight test of restarting a Raptor engine. What are the odds of a engine bay cam? I'm hoping because we used to get those. Remember, we used to get them on the hop tests. And they're doing an engine, and they're doing an engine. That might be their secret. They haven't said anything about it. We know where they're going to do this test. So this is going to try it. I would love to have a camera inside the engine bay. What about you guys?
So there's a camera there. Like we know that there's a camera there. They have sometimes shown it on these recap videos that they do later. We know that this ship bay has a camera. Mm-hmm. The question is always just what do they clear and use for broadcast? And there's another tricky part here, and that is what is the exact coverage of ground stations and Starlink and everything at that moment in time? Because sometimes you maybe are not in the perfect position to have great signal at that moment, which means you're just getting telemetry confirmation. So that's just something you can run into in orbit. Orbit internet is not as easy as ground internet sometimes. So we will have to see and have to see if they can show that, because 25 minutes into the flight, that could be a moment where the ship is basically right over nowhere. And that could be in a situation where they actually don't have they have a great connection.
Alex, do you think they're going to do this relight test before they reorient the ship for re-entry, like on the uphill, or do you think they're going to reorient the ship then do the relight test, because they have to land at a very specific place in the Indian Ocean? When do you think they're going to do that relight test?
That should be about 10 minutes before entry, according to the SpaceX timeline at the very least, right? And so I think it's just going to be prograde, just like they were trying to do on Flight 3, which will not need any weird, relocation or reattitude kind of thing. We'll see, though. They might have changed their minds, right, for this flight. It's a complete different flight than Flight 3. We'll see.
Yep. And again, once the entire ship lifts off from the OLM, we're going to be able to see, hopefully, again, those views of the beautiful blue plume coming out from those 33 Raptor engines, and potentially we'll see the hot stage ring again, right, Adrian?
Absolutely. The exact trajectory of the hot staging ring might be influenced because in the end, that hot staging ring is kind of like a more passive object. Like it doesn't have an engine or thruster or anything to it oriented itself. So if there's like some sort of wind shear, or it's gliding in a different way, or it's flipping in a different way, it could come down a bit different than on our last flight. So we will have to wait and see how exactly it comes down and if we will be able to see it. But of course, we hope, and we are also trying to see if we can spot that hot staging ring here.
As you can see, the frost is coming up the Penguin. I'm never going to stop saying that. The frost
is coming up the Penguin. Really?
That's
the frost is building its way up inside the tanks of Ship 31 and Booster 13, and we are under 20 minutes to the opening of the launch window. And I think we can hear some things from the roof. Doss, are you back?
That's me, Gene. I'm up on the roof now, and if you want to come up here to make sure you don't miss the launch, I can hang out with Adrian and Alex before we get going here.
Couldn't keep me away, my friend. I am headed that way.
All right, we'll hold down the fort from up here. Let's see, how are we looking? Did anything happen in the 5 minutes it took me to get up here?
So apparently there's a Starship and a Super Heavy booster. They're fueling them right now, Das.
Really? Hang on, let me get my Xbox controller here and see if I can find that across the channel.
Do you really have like an Xbox controller?
I literally have an Xbox controller, yeah.
That's amazing.
I'll record a whole behind-the-scenes thing. There is like a behind-the-scenes feed that I think y'all can look at. I'm not sure if we're set to show that to you or not, but we are recording. And I'll do an entire explainer around how I have the big robotic tracking mount that's controlled by a server and an Xbox controller. And then I've got two cameras, like bore sight and coaxially mounted. I've got a wide spotting camera and then the telephoto camera. I'll do a whole thing about it and put that somewhere on the channel. For members first, probably.
There we go. We now see your camera that films you behind you as you're getting ready to track a rocket with an Xbox controller.
It's true. It's really a lot of fun.
That is an amazing setup, and that will be, of course, a lot of fun. Looking good from visibility standpoints. We just talked about that a bit with Gene, but you're of course now on the roof. Everything looking quite clear, you would say? I think so.
Was that for Gene? Who are you just asking?
No, sorry. Basically, the question is, do you spot in a single cloud? Or visibility perfect?
I don't see a single cloud in the sky. I see the WB-57 behind me. I see the dirigible
circling.
Yeah, but I do not see a single cloud in the sky. And I see the rocket great.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are just 17 minutes now away from the potential 6th flight of Starship here, as we are positioning the team now on top of the Margaritaville in preparation for this tracking. Das, what are you going to track? Are you going to track first stage, second stage? Do you already have a plan in mind?
I am going to track the entire stack as it takes off, and then I'm going to focus the robotic tracker on the booster returning. So I'm going to try to stay with it the entire way. I have really fine control over this. The mount that we're using can move in increments at a minimum rate of 0.001 degrees per second. And we did the math, and the rates that we expect are in the degree per second, half degree per second. So I've got almost... I mean, what's the difference between a degree per second and 0.001 degrees per second? I should be able to track the whole thing. The unfortunate thing is this is my first rocket launch to try and track here. I haven't used this setup. I tracked lots of planes, I tracked birds, I tracked all sorts of stuff, but I didn't get down to the Cape to practice before this launch. So we're going to see how it goes, but I am ridiculously excited right now, Adrian.
I mean, I totally get that. It's, I mean, it would be your first catch in person.
As we continue to stand by here, I'm probably talking over somebody.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I will just continue to talk here as we are getting ready here for the final few minutes in the countdown, and the rocket looks almost full now. Both booster and ship are basically wrapping up their propellant load here. So yeah, absolutely. Who is on your roof with you? Who's tracking with you today?
So we've got the whole team up here. Jason and Gene both made it, and I am up here as well. So we've got 3 NSF folks currently ready to go. There's a lot of other folks as well here with us. The team from NASA actually has some of their tracking cameras up here. Cool experiments happening too. So we are here on the roof, ready to go in just under 15 minutes.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to this. Let's see here if I find some more quick questions here, as we are already almost there. Let's see here. I don't have a quick question for you right now. Das, do you have anything that you notice right now that you can quickly throw in there?
Adrian, I noticed that it's a beautiful day. It's nice and cool up here on the roof. We're actually in the shadow of the next hotel condo over. So we've got a great environment up here. It's a little bit windy. The wind is nice and cool, but I'm not seeing a ton of shake on my cameras. So that makes me happy. And it is clean clear to Rocket Town. I can see all the way across the channel, all the boats in the ship channel watching. There's just barely any haze right now. It is absolutely beautiful out here.
And there you can see the full team. There you can see the full team outside there getting ready. I want to quickly thank everybody that is watching right now. We have over 100,000 people watching us here right now. If you watch this right now, the easiest way to support us, just give us a like. Show the YouTube algorithm that you like the stream, and that helps us a lot. Thank you so much. And
also, Adrian, y'all, this is what we do. We're rocket nerds. We love technology. We love making stuff. If you're interested in being a part of the team, reach out. We don't hide for a living. You can find us on all the socials. We're on X, of course. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. I don't even know if I can name them all. I think there's a chat command for it. But I want to hang out with people who like to make cool stuff. You like cameras, you like tinkering, you like robotics, you want to make stuff and have an opportunity to put it next to the world's most powerful rocket and be a part of the team, find us on one of our socials and send us a message, because that's how we coalesce together. Just people who like doing cool stuff. It's literally what we do. Yep. Sorry, Adrian, I know I jumped in, but people, I want to make more friends, more rocket friends.
I mean, this is literally, I think, the story for every single person on the team. Everybody just decided at some point, hey, I really like rockets. Let's do rockets together.
Yep,
so
you got it. It's not like we put out a job ad or anything like that. Somebody comes through and they say, hey, I do voice commentary. Do you need another commentator? Like, I'd love to talk about rockets. I've been following everything you do. And then all of a sudden, Gene is here with us. We get somebody, hey, I love working on streams. I know vMix. Can I help y'all out? And then all of a sudden we have more stream operators, commentators, article writers, whatever it is. Don't be bashful. We are rocket nerds, and if you're a rocket nerd who loves to make cool stuff, come hang out with us. Also, like and subscribe or whatever. That's less important.
Yeah, the most important thing is have fun and enjoy rockets. Well, really.
Okay.
That's what we want.
Hey, Adrian?
Absolutely.
I'm going to pass my headset over to Gene, and I'm going to let Gene handle the commentary while I make sure everything is ready to go from a tracking mount perspective. And I need chat at T-minus 60 seconds to spam remember to record.
Oh, yeah,
chat,
absolutely.
Please. So I remember to hit record.
All right, you got the assignment, chat. Everybody, thanks for that, Das. And Gene, do I have you back now? I'm not sure how fast that switch was.
I am here.
Hello.
It was real fast.
Nice.
I am positioned in between two amazing cameras ready to see this rocket launch up on the roof of the Margaritaville Beach Resort. And I changed my shirt. I want everybody to know I changed my shirt. I'm a Star Trek Original Series fan. I've got my shirt on. I can't wait. I have no optics. It is my eyes and that rocket. And you can do that too by coming here to South Padre Island. I can't wait. Excitement is guaranteed, right, guys?
I think excitement is very much guaranteed, and we are also confirming at this point, not we confirm, SpaceX confirms, that both engines on ship and boosters are preparing and are in engine chill. Engine chill meaning that SpaceX is preparing for the super flow of the very cold liquids, and I'm letting a little bit of liquid oxygen in there, and making sure they're chilling them down, preparing them so they don't cryo-shock them. So all of the 39 engines, that 33 on the booster and that 6 on the ship, are an engine chill. This is the final few steps we are having here. We are progressing through right now, and I will just continue on until let's see here. And of course, we have 10 more minutes here. Remember, and I want to emphasize this, there is a potential hold point at T-minus 40 seconds. SpaceX has not always opted to take this hold point. That hold point is completely optional. Sometimes they just blast right through and just ignore it at all. Sometimes they hold. So be prepared for either... Oh, go ahead, Alex.
If they were to blow through that hold and not hold, this will be the first time they have no delays to the first. I guess they did delay since yesterday. Okay, fair. But like, as they go into a countdown, on flight 1 they had a scrub, right? On flight 2 they delayed into the window. Flight 3, flight 4, and 5, all of them delayed into the window at the end of the day. However, if this indeed goes at 4 p.m., that's the opening of the window, and with no holds, that will be a first. Like, that will be amazingly good for Starship, hitting pinpoint, launch time with no holds.
Yeah, it's absolutely, it's quite remarkable. We are talking about a rocket that takes, correct me if I'm wrong here, Alex, about 9 times the fuel of Falcon 9. And they fuel it not only as fast as they fill Falcon 9, or almost as fast, but they are also doing it with such a consistency. They are doing it like it's routine sometimes. And this is the biggest rocket of all time.
Yeah, Falcon Heavy was a lot harder to test when they did that before the launch. It is true though, Falcon Heavy also launched on the first try, on its first launch attempt. So
that's
props
true
to SpaceX, because it shows that they can really build these rockets and pad systems, even though it may take a little bit of a workout on those.
Yeah, and I also want to give you a quick preview. What are you experiencing in the next hour? Because, of course, we will stay live for the catch. We will also cover the ship, wherever it goes. The ship relight in space. But, of course, also we have amazing photographers in the field that will try to get you amazing shots, amazing slow-mos that we will bring to you. You will get tracking that you can only see here at NSF, because that's tracking that we do. So, I'm just excited. We are in the final 7 minutes 20 seconds here, and just closing in. Alex, can I just bother you for one more question here? What is the final steps? When are we sure that 40 seconds
USB-C
hold is cleared?
So essentially the last few seconds of the countdown?
Yeah, basically when do we know they're really going?
Oh yeah, so one of the things that we notice sometimes, there's this very peculiar vent at T-minus 40 seconds. If they do not hold, that vent happens, and that vent is related with clearing out the lines before the liftoff, because at liftoff, those, the quick disconnect, the umbilicals for the booster and the umbilical for the ship, those need to be retracted and cleared out of all of the flamey bits, essentially, right? And so they do that vent down of fluid interfaces, as they call it, at T-minus 40 seconds. So there'll be a very remarkable, very peculiar vent at T-minus 40 seconds if they do not hold. And so I'm going to be looking out for that when we reach that point. And so that's one of the very few things that we sort of, try to keep up.
Absolutely. And when will both stages have wrapped up propellant loading, Alex?
It should be in about 3 minutes or so. The ship seems to be wrapping up very shortly. The methane tank on the booster, you can see it's almost completely frosted over. So far, everything seems to be tracking good. The booster liquid oxygen load is sort of the last thing, because it's also the last thing that starts. So it's also the last thing that ends in that propellant load sequence. But so far, so good. I've been trying to listen to all of the updates from SpaceX. Pad, vehicle, weather, everything looks gorgeous. You can see there a blue sky as the backdrop of Starship. And so it is an amazing day today. Everything seems to be on track for a liftoff at 4 p.m. Central. That will be 2200 UTC, or 5 minutes and 12 seconds from now.
Yeah, and just recapping here quickly, this is the 6th flight of Starship. This is the 6th Starship full stack flight test. We are looking at Booster 13 and Ship 31, which are stacked on top there, and they are getting ready to launch. And we are 5 minutes away from that. Both vehicles are already in engine chill and in final propellant wrapping before they are ready to go. SpaceX wants to commit to a booster catch today of Booster 13, attempting the 2nd booster catch of the Starship program. If everything permits that and everything is good to go, the ship will fly in a bit of a different flight profile versus the previous launches, where it will go for an in-space burn to demonstrate relighting and deorbit capabilities, and also the heat shield has been modified to also prove a different approach and a bit more aggressive approach on that heat shield. Overall, everything's looking good. We are not aware of SpaceX tracking any issues whatsoever here. We're just 4 minutes away from launch. And with that, we are looking here at the final steps. Again, don't be irritated if the booster looks a bit emptier. The frosting lags a bit behind, because of course it takes a bit of time from the propellant touching the outer surface to the frost ring appearing. And also there is a bit of a gap between methane and liquid oxygen tank, where basically the common bulkhead is, which is the bulkhead that disconnects the methane and liquid oxygen. 3 minutes and 30 seconds here to go. And everything looking very, very promising. And of course, these chopsticks there that we see there, they will be the interesting watch item here. We want to see a catch. If everything permits, we want to see a catch here for the 2nd time. And the conditions couldn't be more beautiful, right, Alex?
Oh, boy. One of the things that I'm looking now is that sign of propellant load having wrapped up. I'm looking at the tower, at the OLM, with those vents coming up. There you go. Tower vent is back. Ship propellant load has ended. And then with the OLM vent coming back, should be coming back in just a few seconds from now. That'll be our indication that booster propellant load has stopped. But you can see also the tank farm has quieted down. All of those subcoolers that were very, very active just a few minutes ago, they are no longer active. That's normal. That's because they have stopped propellant load. And so that is the next thing that we should be having now, is that now that Starship is loaded with 4,500 tons of propellants, right? Now they're going to be preparing that for liftoff, and hopefully we get through that T-minus 40-second mark with no holds. So far, so good. Every single update I'm hearing so far, it's green.
I mean,
this is going.
I mean, we might be 120 seconds away from the 6th flight of Starship. Alex, it's always a pleasure to do this with you, because we have now doing what? This is the 5th flight together, so I'm excited for this. And I'm absolutely looking forward to see this fly. Again, there might be a chance, we don't have the confirmation yet if SpaceX will clear the hold or not. There's a potential hold at T-minus 40 seconds that they might take or might not take. They usually confirm in advance if they want to take that hold or if they go right through it. If they go right through it, there might not be that much time for us to confirm you that before they're already arriving there. So watch for the bottom of the rocket where the suppression system and where the deluge system will start to spool up. And that is the thing you want to see, and that means they will start to ignite these Raptor engines. The holding clamps at this point have already been released. The rocket is just being held down by its own weight. There is nothing of like a hold down clamp or commit clamp anymore that is holding the stack. We are 50 seconds away. We should get confirmation if they take that hold or not any second now.
Let's see.
And again, watch for that bottom of the rocket. That's where we will get the confirmation. Any second now. There is the beautiful rocket on the stack. Watch if we can see at the bottom if something is moving there. No holds. So watch for the deluge system to spool up. That will be our sign of imminent Raptor ignition. First the fire suppression system. There's the fire suppression system spooling up. Next up will be the deluge. We are 90 seconds into the 6th flight of Starship. Everything looking good so far. Correct me if I'm wrong, yeah, Alex, but I see 33 healthy Raptor engines. Absolutely.
Indeed, just went through max Q, supersonic. It's, going through 20 kilometers right now. You can see there the SpaceX speed. Everything healthy so far.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Been a gorgeous launch.
And we are just approaching now the hot staging maneuver. Something that we didn't give that much attention, but of course it's absolutely insane. They will ignite the engines on the ship before the MECO, before the stage separation. So what they basically do is they will use the thrust of the second stage to push the second stage away from the booster. And that maneuver is coming up, that hot staging maneuver. So far, everything looking good.
Watch out for that main engine cutoff. Well, I guess most engines cut off now.
Yep. And there it is, hot staging.
And
looking good so far. And again, the booster will do a flip now. The booster will do the flip right away out of this maneuver. You can see there, and the booster is now in boost back.
That's the flip.
And now we are in the critical phase where the flight director
and tower is go for catch.
Let's go. That's what we want to hear. That means they will try to attempt the catch here. The second catch attempt of the Starship program.
That boost back burn going well. All 13 engines on the booster are firing, heading back to the launch site.
Absolutely insane. And that catch is coming up roughly at 7 minutes after liftoff. So you're already halfway there from liftoff, just saying. And in about 3 minutes and 30 seconds, we will know if Booster 13 will follow Booster 12 in a successful catch attempt. Boost back burn looking healthy.
Should we say first? That's the first shutdown,
And that's good.
and then a final shutdown. It's staggered.
And remember, this maneuver is a bit different for versus Falcon 9. For while Falcon 9 performs an entry burn to slow itself down, this requirement does not exist for Super Heavy. So the next burn this booster will conduct is the landing burn.
Separated, by the way. You can see it there now floating separately from the booster. If you squint, of course, because it's very close to it right now.
Absolutely crazy. There it goes. Coasting down back to the launch side. And that booster is now our center of attention the next 3 minutes. Looking good so far. Whew, Alex. Ascent already going great.
Oof. The ship continuing into orbit.
That's what we want to hear. The ship, of course, on its own journey.
It looks like the booster is now no-go for a catch.
Okay, there we go. That was
it's going to be
that
diverting to a splashdown, unfortunately.
There we go. SpaceX has confirmed that not everything apparently is green for catch, and they will abort
the tower was go before, but during that boost back burn, it seems like they have decided to not go for the catch.
And that is the final commit. That's a final commit, right, Alex?
That's why all of these, commit criteria need to be followed, and need to be, looked through and everything. It's why they are there, right? But hey, ship continues into orbit. The booster will not return to the launch site, but it will attempt a splashdown on the Gulf of Mexico. So if that goes well, that'll be a good piece of data that they'll get from the booster.
Absolutely. This is we still have a lot of things to track here today, so get ready for still a lot of excitement in the next few. And the ship, I mean, let's be real, the star of the show today is very much also the ship. That thing has still
look at
quite
that.
a journey for us. Look at that
now
booster.
It's re-entering, but remember, they have just confirmed no catch, so it is going to be attempting a splashdown. We're going to try and track it all the way and see if we have luck.
Yep, absolutely. Look at that tracking. Gorgeous. And basically the booster has changed its trajectory, so it's no longer going closer to the tower.
Should be coming up on that landing burn. There you go.
That's the landing burn. That's what we want to see. And there's the water.
Down selecting to 3.
There's the 3. And
see, it's doing the translation just as if it was being caught. And now,
yep,
there you go. And I would not be surprised if now it blows up, by the way. So don't be surprised. Yeah, there you go. Good job, booster. Good job. Was that the sound?
I think that was the burn, right? So next up should be the... I'm listening. Do we get a boom?
The ship, meanwhile, continues to go into a nominal trajectory. So far, so good.
And it seems like we don't get the explosion sound. But yeah, everything on the ship seems to be going well. And that, again, that can happen. Like, let's be real. This is a thing that can happen. And that we always said, they only would commit for this catch if everything went absolutely perfect. Oh, there it is!
Engine count, look at that. Okay, the vacuums have shut down as expected. Should be coming up very close to that final shutdown. Look out for that speed. Should be... I think it's targeting about 26,000 kilometers per hour for these flights, but don't quote me on that.
Going down here. But, I mean, ship looking good so far. We have not heard that anything on the ship is... and there it is, engine shut off.
There you go.
Ship, we are now waiting for confirmation of good orbit on ship. And the ship has quite a few milestones still to go here. Because the ship will still perform an engine relight in space. And will also try to perform, of course, this more aggressive...
And good insertion.
There we go. That's good. That enables SpaceX to do more milestones here. And potentially get a lot of valuable data from the ship. Wow. Look at these views. I love that engine camera. I'm glad we are getting that, and I hope we get that during the engine relight. When is that engine relight again? Do we have a timing of that?
Yeah, it is about 37 minutes into flight, so about 26 minutes
Really
from
cool
now.
to see it lift off.
Absolutely.
To be more precise, if everything follows the same timeline, which again, times are approximate, but SpaceX has it at T plus 37 and 46 seconds. So that's sort of the point in the timeline. So we have a little bit of a coast phase here. One thing that I'm looking forward to, though, during this coast phase, we're going to see orbital sunset.
Oh, true.
And then sunrise.
That's going to be cool.
So watch out for that.
Absolutely. And I believe we maybe have somebody on comms here again. Gene, do we have you?
I'm speechless. I'm speechless. That was not intentional for my audio to cut out on top of the roof because I was going to talk, but the fates collided, and all I had to do was stand and watch. And I wanted to commentate on what was going on in front of me, but I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I got to see the Starship launch, and I didn't do anything. I'm just speechless to see this amazing rocket take off and rumble and the roar that comes rolling across on the South Padre Island. Just incredible. Just incredible. And then we saw hot staging, and you wait till you see Doss's footage. Oh my goodness.
I think we've seen some of it here.
Oh, okay. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Absolutely.
Look at that beautiful vehicle. And
we still have we have quite an action ahead of us, Eugene.
We do.
I mean, we have the whole ship re-entry. We have the reignition of that Raptor engine in space. That is going to be amazing.
An engine bay cam? Did I see an engine bay cam?
You predicted it.
Elon watches.
Absolutely.
Elon watches. He knows.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to this. I will, folks, again, we try to set expectations here. This was always something that could happen, and this doesn't make it any less exciting. And it still looked like a good landing burn. We have to say that, the whole profile, Alex, the whole approach, that looks very much tower-esque, right?
Yeah, you could see it sort of, sliding in as it was landing on the ocean. So yeah, that was very neat. We did not see that with Booster 11, unfortunately, not only because it was further down range for that landing when it simulated the landing on Flight 4, but also because the weather was kind of horrible, to be fair. Today, the weather was a lot more beautiful, a lot more clear.
It'll be interesting to hear why they didn't go for the catch. And again, we talked about earlier in the broadcast, they're pushing the boundaries of what these vehicles can do intentionally. So it's going to be interesting to me to kind of go back and listen and see why they decided to go for the water landing. And
yeah, apparently at first the tower was go, but it seems like it was something during the boost back burn for the booster. It seems at least that something was not right there.
Yeah, I mean, Jack wanted an explosion, right?
And that's absolutely understandable. Just to point this out again, this rocket, you have a lot of boosters. They have a lot of boosters. They have a lot of ships. They right now only have one operational launch complex.
Yep.
So protecting that at all costs, if something is not right, that is the right approach, because they can launch again in 2-3 months and try again. but they cannot rebuild a whole launch site in 2-3 months if they completely have something off and land a booster inside of it. So that is the approach that we want to see. That is a very reasonable decision. And yeah, I mean, absolutely still amazing footage. The pictures are absolutely beautiful of this launch so far.
Yeah, and from the roof, seeing it with my own eyes. Again, I right before I cut out, I was like, "Look, I have no magnification. I didn't even have my phone out. It was just standing on the roof with a group of folks and just watching it. And I can't explain what it's like. I've watched NSF for so long. I've seen all of the launches, and I hear the rumbles from the cameras in the field and the folks doing their job. But to feel it hit is just unbelievable. It's just something I'll never forget. And this is only Flight 6. How many more?
Yeah.
A lot more to go.
We absolutely still have a lot more to go.
What is that shot? Oh, that's down the flap. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's down one of the flaps. It's amazing, these views that we're getting, right? That how we're seeing almost orbital sunset, I guess, because it's actually not orbital, but you know what I mean.
I love how the stainless steel, when exposed to that kind of heat, starts tinting those colors. I looked up what that was called the other day, and I forgot it. I just watched a rocket launch, and my brain is
Look at these people there.
Oh yeah!
Wow. And there's the banana. There's the banana payload.
Yeah, there it is.
Banana for scale.
Open the door.
Yep.
Pez dispensed that banana.
You can see the cables are not in tension. They are essentially free floating now.
I got my bananas.
Absolutely gorgeous here. And we still have that engine relight and re-entry. And I mean, if at the end of the day you're getting an engine relight in space of a Raptor engine and the re-entry footage, I mean, I'd take that. It's still gonna be quite an exciting evening, and that will be about the next hour, because until that ship re-entry, we are talking about well, it will start in less than an hour, but if the ship goes all the way, it's about an hour, if we get all the way to splashdown. So yeah, there's the roof team.
I was wearing my shirt. I couldn't resist. I couldn't resist a wardrobe change before I ran up to the roof, so I had to change. Hey guys, I had to change my I just changed my shirt for this launch. First rocket launch. Got to wear my captain's uniform.
Yep, I agree.
Just waving my nerd flag. Now we're looking. It's going to come into the Indian Ocean right at dawn. Do we know where in the sunlight it's going to be?
It will be roughly at dawn, if I recall correctly. But that's the most exciting thing here, right? We are getting a ship flip and a ship landing for in daylight.
I'm really interested to see how the sides of the ship, how they handle not having the TPS tiles. And again, they're pushing these vehicles to the limit. I want to ride one. I mean, you guys don't. Everybody knows you guys don't. I'm in. Elon, I'm ready. DM me.
Alex and I have committed for a journey of covering Starship while sitting on Earth.
Can I interrupt you two? Can you look at your screen there? How beautiful that blue line is.
Yeah,
I just wanted to bring that up because it's gorgeous, and I cannot wait to see that relight. That relight might happen. I'm mostly sure it'll happen in nighttime, so we're gonna see some interesting light spectacle there, and then when it re-enters, it'll go into daylight. So yeah,
absolutely
amazing.
Spectacular. And yeah, this is basically, we are right now experiencing the sunset before that sunrise, which will then result in the ship re-entering over the Indian Ocean. It's gonna be it's quite a spectacle.
Yeah, the Earth is off to the right on your screen, looking down the ship. So that's why when you saw that halo, that blue line of the sun coming through the atmosphere, absolutely incredible views.
Yeah, I fully agree. There we go. There's the... Oh, look at that blue line. Look at that. That's ridiculous.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I can go see it fading away.
Oh my!
I don't even know what we're looking at. Like, which camera is this? Because it's so dark that you cannot even see the ship.
But
that's fantastic.
I'm the last guy on earth that's going to be speechless, and I'm literally speechless. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And we, again, as Adrian said, we've got probably 40 more minutes, maybe 35 more minutes. Then we'll start to see whatever that relight is, right? When we don't know when it's going to happen. I'm just waiting for the engine bay cam to turn on, and
it is, if the SpaceX timeline is to be believed, that should be at T plus 37 minutes.
It's a space nanner. When was the last time we saw the inside? Wasn't it? Was it
Flight 3?
3? Yeah, when they tried to open the payload bay door and all the venting came in and was flopping around.
You can see the banana has floated a little bit up on the payload bay.
That's their 0G indicator, right?
It's a 0G banana.
That's 0G banana. I want that on a shirt too, Adrian. 0G banana.
I guess it makes sense on their 420th launch.
Yeah, it's so far that ship is very much going, and we are approaching slowly but surely that moment of Raptor relight, which will be amazing to see. We that burn, Alex? That burn is probably just a few seconds, right?
Yeah, I would expect that to be just very, very short burn.
But so right now the propellant is floating around in the tanks, and they push liquid oxygen out? No, they wouldn't do that. They would put something with their RCS thrusters. They're going to move the ship forward slightly to settle everything. Or are we talking about pressurization from the? Oh my gosh! Again, just saw a rocket launch from the other tanks.
Fine.
One thing that we should be seeing shortly, I don't even know if we're going to see actually, because, well, yeah, darkness, right? But they should be preparing that Raptor engine to relight, and that involves chilling down the engine, right? And so I'm not sure if we're even going to be able to see that process, but that will be very, very interesting to know if maybe they'll show it or not.
Folks are saying that the booster, I mean, we saw the explosion. Is it floating? I mean, it's got to be a chunk of it floating. I don't know.
Some chunks might have floated, yeah. They'll get rid of that eventually.
Oh, yeah.
And we are of course looking here, standing by for
That was an expensive payload to get into.
Yeah, that's probably the most expensive launch banana ever.
The banana. Somebody could get it from the Indian Ocean. Who knows? Probably not, but I love it. SpaceX has a sense of humor. That's it's fun covering their launches because there's always something different. It's fun to cover.
Absolutely.
Guys, I can't say enough. If you've never seen a rocket launch, you can come right here and see it. I never thought this would happen, that I would be able to do this, and thank all of you guys, everybody, NSF and everybody in chat, and just everybody. Over 15,000 people watching right now. I'm stunned. You guys all told me too. You warned me, and I didn't believe you.
Yeah,
Adrian was like, I want you to watch the launch. I was like, yeah, I'm going to be up there talking to it. No, he goes, Gene, I want you to watch the launch. And brother, you were right. It's crazy.
Yo, look at that.
Ooh.
That's interesting. That's the lightning protection tower,
tower.
pole. Oh, the comms tower.
Yeah, comms weather tower.
I mean, they said if not everything is perfect. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's not in the middle. Is that in the middle of the tower section, not the piece that sticks over? Is that, or we know exactly where that is on the tower, on the top? Yeah, back to, because it's just the pressure that moved that, right?
But also Ryan Weber in the back channel saying that that thing has seen damage basically on every single launch. So yeah, but maybe there's some relation. We'll see. SpaceX hopefully confirms to us why the whole catch was aborted. But we are standing by for more information of that, and of course we are standing by to potentially see potentially at this point it's very much confirmed that this ship will re-enter. The question is just in what configuration and orientation. But there's one thing for certain, that ship will re-enter.
Poor tower, look at that.
Oh.
Yeah, it's alone. It's asking for a hug. Even the arms didn't even close. They're still open.
It's waiting to hug the booster.
But you know what? At least the turnaround time of the pad will be shorter because it didn't have to endure a landing burn. I joke, but you know, we're gonna have to wait a little bit until that 7th flight because that'll be with the Block 2 version 2 of the ship. And you know, in the meantime, we're gonna see a lot of testing, which is good.
I think we got a special treat on Flight 5 with a catch. I really do. Because all those things have to go exactly right for them to say, yes, go for catch. And if there was something wrong with the boost back bird, and they said, you know what, guys, let's just play it safe, save the OLM. As Adrian said, I'd rather replace a booster than an OLM because they don't have another one. They don't have another one. And they're building boosters left and right. So I think we got spoiled with that, and we all wanted to see another catch. And we're going to see another catch in the future. This time, they said, no, let's just land it. By the way, where the booster landed, potentially on future flights, we could see a ship landing somewhere in the Gulf just off of that. I mean, probably they're going to do the Pacific first, but we'll see. The regulatory people let them fly over. But we're going to see some amazing stuff going forward.
Absolutely. How much longer until that Raptor relight?
Like 12 minutes, 37 minutes after T plus 37, right?
Yeah, 12 minutes from that burn.
And then coming up, we've got like later launches. We've got in-flight refueling and tracer target. Man,
that comms tower has taken a bit of damage.
Well, you know what it also means as well? They can clear the roadblock with that stand and lift because they will not need that. Silver lining, people. Silver lining.
Yep. Absolutely. And again, the next flight is not that far away. The next catch attempt for sure is not that far away, because we expected, I would say early February and late January, somewhere in there. That's probably realistic.
March. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say
and
late February, early March. Yeah.
It's the first V2 ship.
If I had to consult my crystal space ball.
I forgot mine at home.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's time. I'm getting on... Am I allowed to present something, Kevin?
It's time.
Let's go. Let's show something from this, because we like sonic booms here, and we have something special here for you prepared.
Ooh.
Look at that. Pauline finished this just a few hours ago, and I think it's a very, very, very cool design. Not only available on apparel and mugs, but also on stickers. Our Sonic Vibes shirt that is now available to celebrate all of these cool sonic booms. Did you hear Sonic Boom, Gene?
I did not. I did not hear the sonic boom of the booster. I was looking up in the air because I didn't have any camera, so I was looking up in the air. And I may have, but I heard obviously the roar of the rocket when it launched. But that's a beautiful design. I need one of those. Save me one of those, Adrian. And that's a debut. You're just showing that for the first time.